Good afternoon. Oh, it's a change. We're not broadcasting in the morning. Here it is, 3:13 Eastern Time. So good morning, good afternoon, good day, wherever you are. I want to start with this last thought on thick. And we've been talking about thick thinking. Sometimes you've heard the phrase that we get thick, we're stuck in the thick of it, or we're stuck in thin thinking. We're really not much to our thinking. But this week we've been talking about how leaders approach thoughts, if they're tied to the heart and they take intentional action, and when they do that and they extend it out to being a part of a caring, a focus that people are important, that they are valued, that they need to take that opportunity to pour into people, to realize that they are an important part, an important element, an important key to our life. Hi, Mark. Welcome. Alexander Solzhenitsyn mentioned this: "It is not the level of prosperity that makes for happiness, but the kinship of heart to heart and the way we look at the world. Both attitudes are within our power. A man is happy so long as he chooses to be happy, and no one can stop him." So that talks to me about this kinship. This is what K is in thick. It's, after we care, but there's more than caring. There's a commonality, there's a purpose, there's a reason that we come together as people to be able to move forward. We need to, as we talked about, this relay for life. We're taking the baton from the person in front of us, and we're carting, down the road, down the track, to hand it off to the next person. So we take it and then we pass it on. And if we think about what that means in our lives, that means that we need to be able to pick up where the last person has fallen, or where it is time for us to pick up that baton and move it forward, take that cause and move it forward. There's been talk about, I'm from this country, or I don't like that country. If we all realize that we are the world, that there is no geographical boundary that's put up by man. But if we all realize that we are the same, we would realize sooner, and a lot more worldly things would happen to affect a greater life, a greater world, a greater opportunity to help bring people free. Alexander also goes on to say, if only there were evil people somewhere insidiously committing evil deeds, and it were necessary only to separate them from the rest of us and destroy them. But the line dividing good and evil cuts through the heart of every human being. And who is willing to destroy a piece of his own heart? We have this separation. We say bad and good, but it's all arranged. And we decide by our choices, by our kinship, by our determination of where we want to go and which side of that equation we want to be on. Why do we choose the bad? Why do we devalue people? Why do we say there is something different about that person when they are the same? They have the same choices. They have the same opportunities if they were given a chance. If they weren't overruled by somebody that held the power. So leaders can hold power and use it destructively. But that's not a good leader. That's a bad leader. Bad leader holds on to power and says, I am in control. You don't know what you're doing. I have your best interest in mind. And not really. But we allow that. And we allow people to have situations where, you can read it in the news, how many people were abused when they were growing up. You hear stories. You hear how they were, abused verbally or physically or mentally, in many different ways. Why is that? Why do we allow this kinship that we're supposed to have, this joining of hearts, to go astray? Why do we allow the conditions to grow to not be there? We allow conditions of struggle, of combat, of combativeness, of anger, of frustration, of hatred. And yet, we are called to be in love with each other. We are called to recognize that I'm no different than you are, and you are no different than I am. We may have different purposes. We talked about that 1 in 400 trillion probability, and you have a unique start in life, and a unique gift, and a unique purpose in life, and you bring something to the table. So why do we criticize that gift? Well, we criticize and isolate the people that are this evil side, and yet we can make that cross very easy. We can jump from good to bad. When we're faith-based, when we have that other element within us that underlies all of this, when we realize that there is something more powerful in this world than we are, we can't control it all. We don't have the ability to create life like that. Something started before all of us were around. The stars in the sky, we had no control of creating those, other than the satellites that go by and reflect some sunlight. And we think it's a star, but it's not. I was laying on the beach the other day, looking up at the sky and watching the clouds and just wondering how they came to be. And then I saw a plane go by, and then that was really man. Man built the airplane, figured out how this metal tube can carry people and stay aloft and travel through the sky. So we have a brain, we have thoughts, we can create something that comes from the heart. We wanted to create a way to fly like a bird. So many people have thought in ages past, and we've been able to create it now, and it's taken a long time. What are you doing? Where is your kinship? What side of the aisle are you on, so to speak? Is it just simply, I don't like this, or I don't like you, and so therefore I'm going to vote against you? Embrace the contribution. Yes, let go of the control. Embrace the contribution. Remove the thought that we have to be fighting each other, and open our hands and say, let's work together for the betterment of man. And we have differences. We're going to have a different approach. But why do we focus on tearing things down instead of building things up, building people up? How are you building people up today? We talk about legacy. Leaders build something so that a legacy goes on, not to put them on a pedestal, though we do, but it's to help people become more. It's to pour into them. When, think back to the first school that was built. In the meantime, education was provided, but this was the first opportunity to bring people together in the same building and give them instruction, give them ability to think. Of course, then we built tests and see how strong and how smart you are, and classify people and give them certain benefits based on that intelligence. And we perverted that forum, that ability to say, hey, here's an idea. Let's think about that. Let's see how we can implement that or prevent it from, ever happening if it settled on this evil side. Why do we tolerate the differences in each other instead of calling each other? We are really held to be the accountability partners of each other and say, there, how can I help you become a better person? How can I help you lift off? How can I help you change your direction? Why is there abuse? Why is there this destruction of kinship? I just was reading an article yesterday that said tribal thought, tribal leadership in companies don't work. It's a fallacy to think that tribes exist, because people start thinking the same and they go and do damaging. Well, it's this good and bad situation that we go through. This is good and bad that we are fighting instead of realizing how we can go forward. What is it that you're going to do today? We talked about these 5 days of how we can align the mind with the heart to the true heart of love, and how we can take intentional acts. How have you taken an intentional act this week? Intentional act of caring, of saying somebody matters, of sitting down with them and perhaps conveying a quote, words of what they've meant to you, how they've helped you become better. What is it that we're going to do? What is it that we are going to say? What is it that we are going to give to say that we have prosperity? We have a kinship of heart to heart. How are we going to look at this world differently to say, I need to work with people today to accomplish something that benefits me, benefits all humankind, benefits the world, does not tear it down, does not make it a destructive place. We're looking to the world to say, oh, we got to get out of this planet because it's going to implode. The sun is going to explode as a red giant and envelope us, and we better be among the stars. We better have spread ourselves out. Some of the sci-fi programs that, Star Trek, Star Wars, long ago, right? But they play on the same thought, that even when we're dispersed among the stars, there will still be conflict. There will be, I don't like you, you don't like me, and we're going to conflict and we're going to not work together. When is it the time that you will take to say, up until now, this is the way it's been. Up until now, I've not had my voice expressed. Today is the day I'm going to express myself. Today is the day I'm going to say, here's my hand. Take my hand and make it a kinship of our hearts. Let us join together. Let us join together. Let us be the persons that we are meant to be. Be the persons that we are looking to grow, to build this condition, to build this opportunity, that leaders create the conditions to grow. This guy's a wise guy. He's a wise man. Looks like me too. A little earlier. But so are you. So are you wise if you tap into the thoughts that align with your heart to bring about a desire, to bring about that all-encompassing burning desire, that obsession to reach and develop something that will lift man, to care about others, to lift and say, you are important, to then work together for this cause. This completes this series of 5 days on this particular topic. And you may say this is really nothing different than I've heard before. The only difference is will you apply it? Will you go and say, this day and this day forward, I will apply these lessons. I will make a change in my life to not have my mind control my life, but to live with my heart. To value people, to say the abuse stops. The abuse of myself stops. The abuse of others stops. The differences that we hold are to be applauded and recognized for that. A different perspective, a different effort that comes to the table, a different perspective. You know, we suddenly get this thought in our minds, oh, a diverse workshop or a diverse workplace is important. That brings other people together. What's stopping us now? Why do we need to put quotas in? Why is that? Because we haven't listened to our heart. And to say, you know, I don't care who comes through that door. They're important to me. They are valuable. They are going to add to our team. We're going to embrace them and put them forward and help them grow and help them help us. Because we're all going to be working together for this goal, for this cause, for the betterment of people. And when I'm feeling alone, I'm going to reach out to these people, to the people around me, to say, yes, please help me, help me. I'm lonely or I'm troubled. I feel this need for looking at this part of me that I don't like. But I can't rip it out. I can't cut out half my heart and say, I'm going to keep the good heart. I'm going to struggle. When that struggle, I need you. Help me. Help me leave a legacy. This is what kinship's about. It's about leaving a legacy for not of our greatness, though we stick our names on, people stick our names on parks and such. They've given a lot to the community. They recognize that. It's a place for kids to play. They were going to put it there anyways, but they decided, well, we have to name it something. Why don't we just name it for the people in that neighborhood? The people of the world, the citizens of the world, citizens of the galaxy. This is a day you have a choice to make. You have a choice to make it grow, to make the conditions right for your change, for your pivot point, to go forward and make it better. What is the day you are looking? What's the day looking like? Who are you saying or smiling at or saying, hey, glad I could meet you. I want to hear your story. I value you and I value the lessons you've learned. Maybe they can help me be a better person. My name is Joe Dutkiewicz. I'm the founder of Crayon Leadership, bringing better thought to the pictures we present, the images we create, the thoughts and dreams that we hold to help you realize them and make them part of you. You have a greatness within you. You have excitement. I can hardly wait to see it happen. Leaders embrace the thick. They embrace the thick thinking. They embrace thick thinking because they know that together we can bring about greatness. We want to speed it. We want to get there fast. We've always been wanting to get there fast. Some of the things we do take time. And revolves around work, revolves around effort, revolves around clearing our minds, of those obstacles that our mind has placed in there, of what people have told us that we can't do, or told us what we should be doing. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. But you know within your heart, you know within yourself and in your body, you know that within you, you're called to be something more. You're called to be a leader, to influence others, to get something greater accomplished in your life. Something that will go on and help and take that baton from that person that's in front of you that is going to fall away because they've ended their mission, and pick it up and keep running with it for your life, and then pass it on to the next person. Be on the relay of life. Grab the thickness of life, of thought, of heart, of an intentional life, of intentional acts, of a caring, compassionate person, recognizing the value in each other, and for kinship. Realize the kinship that we need, that we are here heart to heart, working together for greatness. Greatness not of ourselves, but the betterment of man. The closeness of realizing more appropriately the faith within ourselves. The greatness that we have to leverage the talents that we have to help each other to, in essence, a mastermind of better thought, of being at that apex, of being able to say, I am thinking better today. I'm thinking harder about what it is that I want to achieve, what I want to accomplish for the world. I want to change and help the world be better. I want to make a difference. And I want to go beyond. I want to go and think about that beyond and say, yes, I am at the apex. I am there. I am looking beyond. And I want to go further and higher, and I want to grow, and I want to be, but I need kinship. I need to bring people with me. I need to bring the greatness with me, because the people around me make the greatness. Obviously, based on your beliefs and your faith, you may have a better idea of the greatness that comes down among us, of things that we can't create, that have been placed here for us because we are cherished. So why do we fight with the people that are among us? Because we are all citizens. Citizens not of this world, though we tend to live in it and we think within it instead of thinking much more higher. We have to think higher. Be well. As we close out this part, leave a comment, share it. Spend time with somebody that you appreciate. And it may be a stranger. Somebody that has just smiled in your day, and you go and say, hi, I noticed you smiled at me. I just want to say thank you. It's lifted my day. And you'll build a bond, and you'll get to know their story. It may be only a few minutes. It may not even be enough for a time, but you'll connect with somebody you didn't know and realize there's much more connections to make. Let's think higher. Let's think further. Let's think how we can come together with our thoughts and our heart and acts to care and bring the rest of the world with us to a higher plane, to a higher thought, to a higher action, to a higher creation, a creation of betterment, a creation where we use our talents that we were given for good. And the more we focus on the good, the evil will shrink. Let's stay away from the world of, this, of these, where we disconnect from the world and we can feel safe because we can say anything we want. And let's put ourselves on the line to be accountable for what we say and what we believe, and to think about those beliefs, because those beliefs may be inaccurate. The beliefs that we hold dear may be inaccurate because they don't align with our heart and they don't align with us and what we are called to do. Be well. Do good things. Keep in touch. Make a difference today. Take care now. See you soon.